What happens when one of Hollywood's most unpredictable comedians sits down with America's sweetheart for what should have been a light-hearted chat, but instead turns into the most uncomfortable television moment in recent memory? That's exactly what happened when Jim Carrey appeared on the Kelly Clarkson Show, a segment that started with laughter and ended in stunned silence, leaving producers scrambling and viewers questioning what they'd just witnessed. The Kelly Clarkson Show had built its reputation on warmth, positivity, and authentic moments between Kelly and her guests. Kelly's approachable charm made celebrities feel at ease, and her ability to connect with people had turned her daytime talk show into a go-to stop for A-listers promoting new projects. So when Jim Carrey's team reached out, producers were thrilled. Carrey wasn't just a movie star, he was a comedy legend, beloved for films like Ace Ventura, The Mask, and The Truman Show. The idea was to showcase a different side of him, his growing passion for painting and sculpture, and the introspective artistic journey he'd taken in recent years. When Carrey walked out, the energy seemed as high as ever. He greeted the audience with that unmistakable wide grin, waving as the crowd roared with applause. Kelly welcomed him warmly, praising his creative evolution and asking about his shift from comedy to visual art. At first, his answers seemed harmless enough. Art had become his therapy, he explained, a way to process emotions that comedy couldn't always capture. But as he continued, his tone shifted, and the conversation began to take an unexpected turn. "You see, Kelly," Jim said, leaning back in his chair, "we're all just playing roles, aren't we? You're playing the cheerful host. I'm playing the grateful guest. But what's really happening here? What's the truth behind all these smiles and carefully crafted questions?" Kelly laughed lightly, assuming he was setting up one of his eccentric comedic bits. "Well, I like to think my smiles are genuine. Jim, I really do enjoy these conversations." But Carrey wasn't joking. "That's just it, stories. You've got your story, I've got mine. Yours is that you're this authentic, down-to-earth host. Mine is that I've evolved into some enlightened artist who's risen above Hollywood. But what if none of this is real?" The audience chuckled nervously, not sure if they were in on the joke or witnessing something else entirely. Kelly tried to redirect, asking about his latest sculptures, but Jim's demeanor grew sharper. "Large scale? Everything's large scale now, Kelly. Your show, your brand, this image you've built. Tell me, when was the last time you had a conversation that wasn't designed to serve some corporate agenda?" The studio fell uncomfortably quiet. Kelly's practiced smile wavered for just a moment before she steadied herself. "I have genuine conversations all the time. Jim, I'd like to think this is one of them. Are we, though?" Carrey pressed. He leaned in, his gaze intense. "Or are we performing for these cameras? For the people in this audience who've been told when to laugh, when to clap? Look around, Kelly, it's a beautiful lie." Behind the cameras, producers were already on edge, debating whether to cut to commercial. Kelly, maintaining her composure, insisted entertainment could still be authentic. But Carrey only laughed, a laugh that sounded more unsettling than funny. "Kelly, do you know what's real? That you're trying desperately to keep this interview under control? That your producers are freaking out because I'm not sticking to the script? That's real." Kelly's smile thinned. "Maybe we're getting a little too philosophical for our audience. Why don't we bring it back to your projects?" Carrey shook his head. "My only project is waking up, helping people see the charade for what it is. And right now I'm wondering if you're ready to wake up too." The audience no longer knew whether to laugh or stay silent. The tension was heavy. Kelly's voice hardened. "Jim, I respect your perspective, but my audience came here to be entertained, not disoriented. We can share your insights, but we also need to respect the format of the show." "The format," Carrey repeated, clapping slowly. "Kelly, that's the first honest thing you've said. The container that keeps everyone in line. But what happens when someone refuses to stay in the container?" Trying to inject levity, Kelly replied, "Well, that's when things get interesting. But interesting doesn't always mean comfortable." "Comfort is the enemy of truth," Carrey said, suddenly standing up from his chair. The crowd gasped. "Comfort is what keeps people asleep, consuming, believing everything is fine. And right now, you're selling the illusion that this is just another fun celebrity chat." Kelly gestured for him to sit down, but he stayed standing. "Jim, this isn't a problem we can solve if you won't meet me halfway. Right now you're making my audience uncomfortable, and you're not honoring the agreement we made." Carey's face shifted, his expression hardening. Selfish. Do you know what's selfish, Kelly? Building an entire career on being relatable while carefully managing your image. Pretending to care about your guests when really, you're just mining them for content. That hit a nerve. Kelly stood as well, her patience cracking. That's not true. I care deeply about my guests and my audience. I care about bringing something positive into the world. Which, by the way, it desperately needs. Positive? Carey scoffed. You're selling positivity like a product. Smile, laugh, feel good, buy more. Stay distracted. Nothing about this industry is designed to help people grow, and you're part of that system. Kelly's voice was quiet but sharp. You want honesty? Here it is. What you're doing isn't enlightened. It's selfish. You came here to talk about your art. Instead, you've ambushed this show and this audience. Carey froze, then repeated the word as if testing it. Selfish. His expression shifted again, unsettlingly fluid. Then in a cold tone he added, You think I'm selfish? You've built an empire on carefully curated authenticity. You're pacifying people, not connecting with them. The argument escalated. Carey paced like a caged animal, his words jagged and relentless. Kelly pushed back, insisting that boundaries and structure exist for a reason that people trust shows like hers. Because of that predictability. Carey exploded. Because talk shows are where the lies live. This is where people are told celebrities are just like them. Where consumption equals connection. Someone has to break the spell. And it isn't your job to break it here, Kelly shot back. Your job was to respect this space. If you want to tear down the system, create your own platform. Don't hijack mine. The word hijack seemed to land heavily. Carey stopped pacing, his manic energy faltering. His voice lowered to almost a whisper. You think this is a breakdown, don't you? That's the story you'll tell? Crazy Jim Carrey lost it on your show? Kelly softened slightly. I think you're struggling. But this isn't the place for therapy. Jim, it's not fair to me, my team, or this audience. The mask cracked. Carey's tone shifted into something vulnerable. What if I told you I don't know how to deal with it privately anymore? What if I don't know who I am when the cameras aren't rolling? What if this chaos is the most real I've felt in years? The room went still. Even Kelly's producers stopped moving. For a moment, it wasn't host and guest, it was two people face to face. Kelly's tone was gentle but firm. If that's true, Jim, I'm sorry you're going through it. But you can't work it out here, in front of people who didn't consent to be part of it. You need help from people who can guide you in a safe space. Carey looked at the audience, their uneasy faces reflecting back at him. Look at them, he said. They don't want authenticity. They just want the clown. They want me to dance. They want you to be considerate, Kelly corrected. There's a difference between real and reckless. You can be authentic without hurting people. Carey stared at her, his energy drained now. You're right, he admitted quietly. You're absolutely right. But tell me, what am I supposed to do when I don't know how to just be a person anymore? You figure it out, Kelly said gently. You step away from this. You let professionals help, but you don't make everyone else carry it for you. The words seemed to settle into him. For the first time since the interview began, his eyes cleared. I think I need to leave now, he said. I think that's probably best, Kelly replied softly. He walked toward the exit. Before leaving, he turned back. Kelly, for what it's worth, you handled this better than I would have. More patient, more kind than I deserved. Kelly gave a small nod. I hope you get the help you need, Jim, truly. And with that, Jim Carrey left the stage, leaving behind a silent studio filled with stunned audience members who had just witnessed one of the most uncomfortable, surreal moments in daytime TV history.